Python is platform independent. What does it mean by platform independent and how it is platform independent? That's what we are going to learn. And when we say it's platform independent, it's also portable. So basically, if you understand platform independent, that's sufficient. Now, we are going to understand what does it mean by platform independency and how Python is platform independent. So first of all, what is a platform? Platform is nothing but the operating system which provides environment for running our applications, like a Windows environment or Mac environment or Linux environment. These are the operating system. We call them as platforms. These are the platforms. And they run on the machines, like you are running all these operating system on different machines. Like you have Windows machine, Mac machine and Linux machine. So the machines on which some platform is running. Now, there's a difference in this platform. The way you use them is different, but the applications mostly find your similar application. But some applications are entirely different. Like some programs, they are available on Windows, not available on Linux, or some are available on Mac and they are not available on Windows. So these machines are different, or platforms are different. So when we write our programs, what happens to them? Let us take the example. Suppose I have written a C program, my.c. Now C is the compiler based language. I have compiled it into machine code. So this is my.exe, my.c compiled into machine code, that is my.exe. And I have done it on Windows machine, so I will run it on this machine. It will run. Now same executable file, compiled file, not the source code, compiled file. If I try to run it on Mac, it will not run. On Linux, it will not run. Why? Because the platform is different. So executable file, what is converted from source code to machine code, that file is dependent on the operating system actually. That is dependent on the platform. When you have a compiled program for one platform, it will not run on another platform. So will this C program doesn't run on Mac? Yes, they work. Then what you should do? If you have a C program, you compile it on Mac and it will run here, but it will not run on these two machines. So source code, you have to compile it again on Mac machine, translate it again on Mac machine, again on Linux machine. So one-time translation, that translated file cannot run on all machines. This is what the important thing. So if you have a notepad program on Windows, notepad.exe file will be there. You copy it and take it on Mac. It will not run there because it's not compatible that platform. So when you have written a source code and compiled on one platform, it will not run on another platform. This is the important thing that we have done. Now, what about interpreted languages? We have seen the compiled languages. What about interpreted languages? Now see, this is interesting. Suppose I have a JavaScript program. This is the source code of JavaScript. Will it run on Windows? Yes, it will run on Windows. But what do you need on Windows? You need a browser which works on interpreter. On Windows, do you have a browser? Yes, you have Internet Explorer or Edge browser is there, or you can install a Chrome browser or Opera or Firefox. You can take any browser there. So JavaScript program runs inside browser and Windows is having its own browser. Yes. Same JavaScript, will it run on Mac OS also? Yes, there also it needs a browser, and on Linux also it needs a browser. So Google browser, that is Chrome, you can install on all the machines and it runs. So JavaScript source code program directly get interpreted inside the browser and execute on every platform. So it means JavaScript is independent of the platform. Yes, it is independent of the platform, but its interpreted language, directly source code will run. Source code will run, not the compiled code or machine code or intermediate code. So anybody can check the source code. He can see the source code. No. So this is the problem with the JavaScript. You can see the source code. Now one interesting thing. Listen here. Chrome on Windows. Is it different from Chrome on macOS? If you ever try to download Chrome, from Google, it will ask you on which operating system you want, or it will detect the operating system and it will show you that operating system. So the software developed for Mac and Windows is different, right? So if it is for Windows, it will not run on Mac at all, and vice versa, and even on Linux. That's it. Now you have seen the difference between the compiler languages, that is C language. When compiled on one machine, it will not run on another. Interpreted languages, you need an interpreter, it will run on any platform, but directly source code runs. Now, Python or Java or .NET languages, it's same for all, whoever is hybrid, how they run. Let us see this. This is a Python program. You compile it and make a PYC file, intermediate code. So this is nothing but an intermediate code, Python bytecode, compiled, error free. It's not source code. Nobody can see the program. Will it run? Yes, it runs on this machine. What do you need? You need a virtual machine, Python virtual machine. That's an interpreter. This will run on this machine. And what about this machine? For this also you need a PVM, and for that machine also you need a PVM. It runs on any platform, provided Python virtual machine must be installed on that platform. So Python program run inside their runtime environment. So it's like a browser. Browser was a runtime environment for JavaScript. So now PVM is a runtime environment. Now, runtime environment, PVM, is it different for different operating systems? Yes, it's different. It's not same. But it is providing environment for Python program. So Python program can run on any platform. So that's how Python program becomes platform independent. When you have a Python program, when you have a PYC file, if you take a PYC file, if you can create it, if you have created it, you can run it on any machine you want. But usually we directly use the source code in Jupyter Notebook, and we just keep it, we directly write on the code and execute it usually. That's how it happens. But if you want to make a platform independent applications, you can do it in Python, because Python is hybrid. 2 steps, one time compilation, one time interpretation step. So that's all. We have seen how Python is platform independent and portable. If you can create this file, you can port it on any operating system and run it. Directly it's not created. There's a method for creating it or finding it. By default, it will directly run on the machine, Python. So that's why we say it's interpreted. But basically it's hybrid and portable. So that's all. Till now you have learned so many important key points, like what is a compiler, you know the difference between compiler and interpreter, you know what is platform dependency, you know what is hybrid compilation. So these are the things that everybody must know, a programmer must know. That's why I'm covering these basic concepts. So that's all in this lecture.